Hi everyone, it's Lucy from Sweet Poppy Stencils. Today I thought I would show you one of the makes using the oval aperture stencil and some of the beautiful Stampscape stamps that we stock. So to start off with, we're working on ivory cardstock to give it a softness. We've got the oval aperture stencil. Now any of your aperture stencils will work for this these stamps. They sort of showcase them, so they're perfect. We're going in with speckled egg distressing, pumice stone distressing, and then to give it a softness, rather than using the black ink, we're going with Fallen Leaves Versafine Clair. We're also going to be using our blending brushes, and the stamps that we're going to be using, these are red rubber. They come unmounted, but we do sell the grey mount foam if you wish to mount them like I've done mine. So the ones that we're using is 144F cabin with fence, two of the fences, it's 289D and 293C, buck large, 009B. Now he is a distressed looking buck, so if you didn't want, I'll show you a little trick how to not have him looking so distressed. And the goals, which are 302 alpha. But just play around with what you've got. If you haven't got those particular stamps, then have a play with what you've got. So we're going in with pumice stone first, and we're taking off. And we're going to work in sweeping motion. And we want to apply bit by bit. So you want to build up your inks bit by bit. We're taking up to the side, up to the left side of the oval. And again, and into the circle, center. And again, we're going heavier as we apply it. Then we're going to go in with our speckled egg. And again, sweep in motion, darker on the outside than on the inside. You don't want it to overpower the stamp. And again, sweep in motion. Back in with pumice stone. And again, back in with, you can hardly see it until you actually take the stencil off. It looks like there's hardly anything applied, but that's what you want. You just want a little bit of colour behind. You don't want too much. Okay. So let's see what we've got. We can always replace the stencil and apply more if we need to. So if we just take up the one side, let me get my fingers under there, and there you go, just perfect. So take away our tape. You can reuse that if you really want to. So pop that to one side, and off the magnetic sheet, and as you can see, hopefully you can see the colour. Okay, magnetic sheet to one side, we don't need that. Blending brushes to one side. We're going to go in with my stamp platform. I use a stamp platform, it's just easier for me. You use what you're comfortable with. So pop my stamps, I've got them all ready out. One side, and hopefully we're still in shot without knocking the camera. Okay, bro. So popping him on, and I'm going landscape with it, and my first stamp, and it's about central that I'm going to go. Now you could have done a little circular mask and done your moon and or your sun or whatever you wanted if you wanted to. I'm just checking to see if that is, yeah, that's about right. Let's go with that. So making sure it's stuck on. So gentle taps, so I don't knock the camera as well. Making sure I've got a nice coverage of ink. The Versafine Clair really pick up the detail of Stampscape stamps. So it's a good quality ink. So again, we're down and we're gently pressing, making sure it's got good contact and it's seeping into your cardstock. So leave it there for a little while, walk around. There we go. So lift up, beautiful. So pop him to one side. I love these stamps because if I wanted to, I could ink up part of that and I could carry on the stamps and really build up a beautiful picture. So move my magnet out the way. Now I'm going to match up my fence roughly with this area here. So I tend to look at the sides, try and get it just by eye, not stressing too much because they're very forgiving. So again, we're going in and we're gonna gentle taps back in and let it seep in. Lovely. So I'm going to just pop him to one side for the second. I'm going to reuse him in a minute. Again, I'm matching up this section here with this section, just looking on the side, just getting eye view to see if it's there. I don't get too stressy because with a marker, a fine tip marker, you can extend your fence. Not got quite contact there. That's better. Look what you're doing, Lou. So let it seep in. Isn't it beautiful? It's such a beautiful stamps these are. So as I said with this one, let me clean off my stamp before I put it back on my cardstock. There we go. What you could do is put a bit of acetate down and you could line up your stamps and everything without getting dirty cardstock. So I want to extend this little bit here. I want it slightly more off the card. So I am just going to use my eye, pick him up, pop it down, just ink up part of it. We don't need to ink up the whole lot. And again, gentle taps. There we go. Oops. So just push that out of the way. Lovely. Okay. So we are going to go in with some birds. Gentle taps. You don't need to over flood the stamps. They are so detailed. They just don't need any work. There we go. Beautiful. And we're going to go in with the buck. Lovely. Pop him there. Him, her. Right, this is where I was saying about the stamp is designed to be distressed. So let it sink in. And if you don't want it, so you can see it's looking, and that is beautiful, but if you didn't want to, then just gentle fill it in. It's up to you. Get your pencil or get your pens, your fine tip marker. There we go. So a little sentiment, that's what we need on there. So we are going to use a sentiment from our roses set. Great art picks up where nature ends. Very apt. In the middle. Just line him up, make sure we're hopefully straight. We don't want to botch it right at the end. I think we're straight there. Yeah. There we go. Gentle taps. Needs a bit more ink. There we go. That's better. Pressing down gently. Let it seep into the cardstock. Up. And there you go. And that is it. It's as easy as that. So pop him out, take off the stamp, close the press, and then you would mount it onto your cardstock, your backing, or whatever you fancy, and there you go. And that is the one that I did, and that's fully mounted. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to tune in and look for more inspiration.